Just a brief follow-up, Michael. Do you think that we're making them nervous by stressing democracy?
They would be nervous whether you stressed it or not. And it's a great question. I'm writing a book right now about lessons from the Cold War for how to deal with China and Russia. And I think this is a really important lesson. It doesn't matter, David, you and I could sit out here at Stanford and, in the faculty lounge and say, it would be better if we were just more realpolitik about, what we're going to do abroad and not talk about democracy and just forget about it. And I want to be clear, we need to manage this ideological contest in ways that we did not manage it in the Cold War that led to travesty. Many of the lessons from the Cold War are ones not to be repeated, in my view. But even if we said that, it doesn't matter for two reasons. One, the very existence of our system of democracy threatens the legitimacy of Xi Jinping and Vladimir Putin and every other autocrat in the world. So it doesn't matter what we say and do, it's what we practice that matters. And when we don't practice democracy well, that strengthens their legitimacy. And that's the key point between domestic politics and international politics. Conversely, and this is something I think we need to be honest about too, the very existence of an effective economic model, autocratic economic model, threatens the United States. And it's when it's combined with power, as it is in the case of China, that threatens the United States. And no amount of talking about not having ideology involved in U.S.-China's Russia's relation, U.S.-China and U.S.-Russian relations will diminish that. That's the first point. The second point is whether it's a good thing or a bad thing. I'm agnostic. I think it's a good thing myself, but it is a thing, which is even if President Biden got up one night and said, I want to be more like Nixon, or I want to be more like Metternich. I don't want to talk about all this ideology, although Metternich actually was a big suppressor of liberal democratic movements. But let's not go back that far. I don't want to talk about this. This summit of democracies, let's pull it down. What if he had said that? Well, as you know well, President Biden's not the only foreign policy decision maker in the United States. And if he did that, and if he said we're no longer going to have morals, we're not going to have normative issues in American foreign policy, there's all kinds of parts of our political system that would challenge him on that. Senator Cruz would challenge him. Senator Rubio would challenge him. The Washington Post would challenge him. Thinking of our friend Fred Hyatt, who recently passed away, the op-ed page of the Washington Post would challenge him. On China, Speaker Pelosi would challenge him. Human rights groups would challenge him. Religious groups would challenge him. In other words, you can't, as Henry Kissinger once said famously, you can't be Metternich in the American political system because you don't have the same control over making policy. We are a democratic system, and therefore I think it's it's part of who we are. As you said in an earlier interview, it goes all the way back to the founding of our republic. And when we were faced with, do we support our allies, the French monarchy, or those that are ideologically aligned with us during the French Revolution, that's when that debate really started. And it's been with us for 230 years, and I don't think it'll go away.